Now, tomorrow night, our documentary, Bondi, A Timeline of Terror, is airing at 7:30 p.m. 7:30, not 8. Now, one thing that's emerged in many of the interviews I did is the sense that this was not a surprise, almost inevitable. And some of those impacted by Bondi had actually been fighting against hatred against the Jewish community over the past 2 years. The oldest victim at Bondi was Holocaust survivor Alex Klaitman. I sat down with his wife and daughter for the documentary. And his daughter Sabina, who's an academic, had herself been campaigning against anti-Semitism over the past couple of years. Sabina, you were speaking out against anti-Semitism for 2 years. Could you ever have imagined that it would lead to your own father being killed?
People remind me that 2 years ago I did a speech. I actually mentioned that where is it leading? Somebody is going to get killed. Just 2 years ago I didn't know it would be my father. And seeing what happened, and that in between where things could have been prevented, things could have been done, and we were not. It's very hard to accept.
Now, Sabina wasn't alone with this message. Sammy Kogan's 8-year-old son came face to face with the shooters on the bridge. This is a story that's never been told before. We're telling it in the documentary tomorrow night. Now, her 8-year-old son and his dad, Sammy's husband, they ran down the stairs. They hid underneath the bridge for the whole shooting. And the documentary tells their incredible story. But what I'm going to play you now is about how Sammy, this 8-year-old boy's mum, she speaks about how she had actually written to Prime Minister Anthony Albanese on December 9, the year before, demanding action on anti-Semitism.
I'd actually sent him a message maybe a year ago, and I begged, I said, like, we're so scared. Like, whatever's happening in the Middle East is something, but like what's happening here, like, it's affecting our lives and we're scared for our own children. And then... That was a year ago? A year ago. On the night that it happened, I sent him another one, and it was just, I said to him, like, my son was there and we feel like you failed us.
Really powerful, emotional words. Now, Matilda's parents also were in a similar position. Michael and Valentina tell me this in the documentary. Michael and Valentina had been speaking out against anti-Semitism, racism against Jews, for years. Do you feel angry at the lack of leadership on anti-Semitism over the past 2 years since October 7? I mean, do you think it could have been different?
I personally feel that the government betrayed us. That's what I think. They betrayed us. They betrayed Matilda by letting terrorist lovers take over the country. First, they took over the Opera House. Then they took over the Harbour Bridge. What's the next step? Next step brings a gun.
Do you hold the federal government partly responsible for what happened?
Not partly. They are responsible. They are responsible. Those guys were the triggers, the idiots, the crazies, the nut jobs. But the government, you know, like they like to say, dog whistle.
You can't argue with the parents of a 10-year-old killed at Bondi, and there's more of that incredible interview on the show tomorrow night. Now, as you heard in the clip I played on Andrew Bolt's show, Rabbi Eli Schlanger, he was killed in the Bondi terror attack. But just 3 months before, he'd written to Albanese accusing him of betraying the Jewish people in his recognition of a Palestinian state. How worried was he about the anti-Semitism crisis?
He was very worried. Yeah. He wrote a letter to Albanese. It was on his Facebook. And yeah, he was definitely expressive about his concerns. He didn't keep it quiet.
He wanted the government to do more.
Yeah, 100%.
And I can tell you that in the aftermath of the terror attack, Albanese had a private meeting with Rabbi Schlanger's sister, Tzippi, who you just saw speaking there, brother-in-law, Rabbi Mendel Castell, and their family. And Rabbi Schlanger's niece asked Albanese if he'd read her uncle's letter from 3 months earlier. 22nd of September, he'd sent it. And Albanese said he hadn't. So she bravely slid it across the table and asked him to read it out loud. And he read it quietly to himself. Now, these are just some little snippets from our documentary tomorrow, and I can tell you that there is a lot of new information in there. For example, the first person who was shot at Bondi before Boris and Sophia Gurman. We've interviewed that person. It's a young boy. It's incredible. We spent months investigating this. It's very powerful. It's very moving. I highly recommend you watch it. You might need a box of tissues with you. So 7:30 p.m. tomorrow night, right here on Sky News.